but you can pick up a few extra pound notes in the old Skyrocket. Well, that's a tidy break to open up your account. It's been unlucky though where the one ball's finished, but beautiful cue ball control. Again, a little bit like phase one of this tournament when there were 16 players. Eklund-Kachi finished bottom of the table. There's a little bit of that going on now, I suppose, where there's obviously 10 players left. So you don't want to finish 10th, do you?
Well, these two are both on 7 wins now. And they've both got 5 matches left.
Extension code.
And really, it would take something extraordinary to happen for one of these not to finish bottom. Basically looks to be between the two of them. This match won't decide it, obviously.
He's the one ball to slow down. He was trying quite an adventurous shot there. It's not quite come off, so Omar's in, and as we've seen against SVB, he is not going to hang about.
Yeah, he really started speeding up towards the end of the first phase, zipping around the table.
If this is actually your style of play in general, it actually can be quite intimidating, and it can actually do you good because it means you're not thinking about the mistakes, you're just getting on with the game.
Well, I'm sure we could both name any number of players across various cue sports seem to undo themselves by giving themselves too much time to think about what's going on. They should just rely on their talent and their instinct. It's working well for Omar Al-Shaheen this morning. He's already got a win on the board. Unexpected one at that. He's raced through the opening rack against Mieszko Fortunski. Now, this is an interesting match on the other table. David Al-Kaidi really needs to win all 3 of his matches today, and it still might not be enough. And Joshua Filler, well, he's not entirely safe himself. But the really interesting thing with him will be to see how he plays, because yesterday was by far the worst he's played so far in the tournament, and at times he looked a shadow of the player we'd seen throughout the first phase. He was missing some really surprising balls, particularly towards the end of yesterday's play. And as you've seen, he's just levelled at 1 each. Now, one of the highlights of any pool year is the Mosconi Cup. And after a couple of years being played in the UK, it's all going back to the States. What a week this is going to be at Bally's in Las Vegas. Starts the 30th of November, runs for 4 days. Europe bidding to win 3 in a row after their wins in Coventry and London. The tickets will be on sale on Thursday. They go on pre-sale at 10 AM Pacific time, that's 6 o'clock in the UK, to Matchroom Pool Club members, and general sale from 7 AM Pacific time on the Friday. And as always, you can go to matchroompool.com. All the information you need is there about all the events, and where they're on, and how to get tickets for them. Always an absolutely cracking week. One thing I don't think we're going to see, Carl, is Fortunski deciding to start racing around the table after every shot. He's just not that sort of player. But what he is very determined. Always comes across as being very ambitious to make his impact on the game. And although he knows he's going out of the tournament, it's a day playing against some of the very best players in the world. He wants to make the most of that. And that's not bad, is it?
Yeah, that was beautiful vision. He was kicking the one ball towards that corner. He knew he had a chance of making it, but if you look at the cue ball, it was a two-way shot. So if he misses the one, he hooks Omar behind the 7. Great vision, great shot. 4 ball's going to be interesting. He could have actually jacked up there and tried to spear the cue ball into the 7 or the 4 because the 3 was over the corner, but it's not for him. Maybe it's a little early in the day for shots like that. Joshua Filler's not hanging around. He's about to take a 2-1 lead over Al-Qaedi.
Yeah, early signs from what we've seen of that are generally positive from Filler's point of view. We were talking last night about how he needed a reset for today. He'll have been on the practice table. I'm sure him and Pia will have had a chat. And he's come out today looking more like his usual self.
Well, we're talking about Omar not hanging around. He's played a couple of wonderful shots here. Little bit unlucky where the cue ball's finished behind the 8. I think he'll just kick off the back rail as hard as he can, and you can't really see any kind of kick safe, so he needs a little bit of luck. As he found it, it's going towards the corner, but it's going to sit up nice for Omar. You don't always get away with it.
Yeah, and the way he started Sunday, this looks pretty ominous. Well, Shaheen only actually played 3 matches yesterday. Lost them all. Bit unfortunate to come out with nothing from the 3 because 2 of them were hill-hill against Alex Kazakis and Jason Shaw. But he would have got up this morning knowing he's got 6 matches to play, and it's going to be a long day, heading for elimination at the end of it. And you can go 2 ways with that. You can regard it as a bit of a chore, or you can embrace the opportunity to showcase your talents. And that's what he's been doing so far, Omar Al Shaheen. Now let's have a look at table 2. Joshua Filler, as we said, 2-1 up on David Al-Qaedi. And Al-Qaedi is on 11 wins. Wasn't a great day from yesterday by any means. And as we said, he's got 3 more matches, including this one. He's got to play Alban Ocean just a little later this morning. And then 1 match in the evening session against Omar Al Shaheen. I think you would definitely say he's got to win them all. And even that would only get him to 14, so very much on a wing and a prayer at the moment. Faded away, was in a good position earlier on in the week, but just hasn't found the consistency of performance.
Well, he's got the jump cue here, but
extension, please.
very difficult to see exactly what he's trying to do with this jump cue. Is he trying to play off it thin and leave distance? Yeah, he kind of tried it, get it up towards that 5, but it's not going to work out. He was in a tricky spot there with the young man from Germany.
3rd rack, Fortunski to break, trailing by 2 racks to 0.
And the slightly less young man from Poland starts us off here in rack 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, this week, what I have been impressed with from Fortunski is the skill he has on the break to just keep parking the cue ball. There you see, pops back, stops dead, right in the middle of the table. That is a real difficult shot to play on the break shot. I'm sure if you play 9-ball pool, you obviously appreciate how hard that is. And it was a good opening pot.
We talk about him as an up-and-coming player, and he is. He had a very good 2021, including reaching the last 16 of both the World Championship and the US Open. Performed well here as well. But he is 30 this year. So if he is going to become one of the very top players, it needs to happen soon, Carl.
Yeah, the good thing with Fortunski is he finds himself in a lot of these matchroom pool events now, so he's getting used to this centre stage play. He travels around all over playing, so he's used to playing all these types of players.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good performances in other forms of the game over in the States in recent months. Semi-finals of the US Straight Pool Championship in Virginia Beach in October. It's Joshua Filler who beat him there. And Fedor Gorst beat him in the semi-finals of the Arizona Open 10-ball event last month. Filler and Gorst both went on to win those titles. So a nice smooth rack for Mieszko Fortunski. He still trails Omar Shaheen, but it's now 2-1. More in a moment. Welcome back to Milton Keynes. Two players who are heading out of the tournament today, but looking to go out in style through their Sunday matches are Mieszko Fortunski and Omar Shaheen, who leads 2-1. And looks to have played a pretty good break, Carl.
Yeah, 4 balls on the break shot. We're seeing SVB. Well, SVB made 15 balls in 4 breaks yesterday. I'm convinced that's a record. This is tight past the 7, but it will go as long as he plays it into the rail. Well, he's played it in the middle. Need to wake up a little bit there.
What's the most you ever made off the break? You must have made 5 at least at some point.
Yeah, possibly. I don't think I've ever made 6. I know 6 seems to be the record on camera. A couple of players have achieved that feat. Of course, it's just luck. You need to hit the break hard, of course, but the rest kind of takes care of itself as Omar misses the 5 ball. Well, it's okay playing quick, but sometimes you've got to slow down that extra yard.
We see it so often, don't we? We see great breaks, some of the best, an unexpectedly high percentage of them don't end up with the player winning the rack.
Fortunski's trying to use the 9-ball as a blocker, and he's done a fine job. Never easy, because you've just got the width of that pool ball to hide behind. When there's only 3 balls on the table, it's always quite hard to find a hook.
Extension code.
So it's a good hit, but he's left it on.
Well, it looked like being a extremely quick rack, with Shaheen winning it. Well, it seems neither of those things is going to happen. It's been a bit more drawn out. And Fortunski now looks set to take it for 2 each. And that indeed is what has happened. As we've said, these are 2 players who both made big progress in 2021 on the world stage. Now it's all about building on that. There are plenty of events in which to do it. Let's have a look at this wonderful schedule we've got. Already had the Derby City Classic. Obviously we're here at the Premier League. But it's just the beginning, isn't it? Euro Tour event, the Lasco Open, that counts towards the new world ranking system. And not that long now until the World Pool Championship. And we're all very excited about new events like the UK Open and the European Open. It's a great blend between elite events, new Open tournaments, established Open events. And great, Carl, that the World Championship, since Matchroom took it over again, has really been restored to what it should be as an event.
Couldn't agree more, Michael. It's back where it should be with Matchroom Pool. Obviously, they've got a lot of history in that event from years ago, and now it's back, and I'm sure Albin Ocean, defending champion, can't wait for the 6th of April to get his defence back underway. And on a personal note, I'm actually looking forward to the UK Open for obvious reasons, and the European Open, 2 brand new majors for the world of pool.
Round 5. Mieszko Fortunski to break.
It's only about 6 weeks now to the World Championship. Has come around particularly quickly because it was a bit later in the year last year, won by Albin Ocean.
That's a familiar sight on the Fortunski break. Cue ball around the centre of the table.
No hiding place for you, Carl. We've got the World Championship, as we said, coming up in a few weeks. So I want an actual answer, and I don't want any of this Phil Yates carry on. You can't give like 2 or 3 names. I want one name. Who would be your pick now if you were having a little bet on the World Championship?
Oh, you're a tough
taskmaster.
Yeah, you're a very tough taskmaster. I'm going to go for... I'm going to go SVB. I'm going to say he wins his first World 9-ball Championships.
Yeah, he's been close a couple of times. There's no Grand Slam as such in pool. You don't have like 4 events that constitute the Grand Slam. But I think what any great player wants to do is the double, to have won the US Open and the World Championship during your career. And it's amazing, really, that Van Boning hasn't achieved it yet.
House shot.
Obviously 5 US Opens.
Ball in hand. Start the clock, please. House shot. Ball in hand.
Well, I think it's only fair if I ask you to pick a name as well, Michael,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. I knew you were going to do that, so I'm thinking about it. I'm going to go for someone who's won it before, actually. Someone who I have so much admiration for. And someone who's actually playing on the other table at the moment. I'm going to go for Joshua Filler.
Well, we've edged our bets there, haven't we?
No, we both went for one particular name. I just find it hard to imagine that Joshua Filler would end his career, and obviously the end of his career is a very long way away, having only won the World Championship once. I say only, of course it's a great achievement to win it just once. But having achieved everything he has in the game, he strikes me as someone who isn't going to lose ambition in any way. And is going to want to win the very biggest titles as many times as he can. He wants sure to be a long career ahead. Bottom line is, at times this week, he's looked like he's playing absolutely great. The wonderful thing is, you've got 10, 15 players you could look at and say any of those could win it. And of course, Omar Shaheen, who you probably wouldn't have listed as a potential winner going into last year's championship. He went mighty close. This man did pretty well too. He was beaten by the eventual winner, Alban Ocean, in the last 16. And having been 2-0 down in this match, Mieszko Fortunski now leads Omar Shaheen 3-2. Let's have a look in next door. Big match this, particularly for David O'Cady. Up against Joshua Filler. Well, they're actually between racks now. But I can tell you the score is 3-all in that one. It's been a bit up and down this week, hasn't he, David O'Cady? He started very well, but he's thrown in a few too many dodgy performances.
Yeah, when you sort of get on that roll of winning becomes easy, but it's also said to be the other way. Well, when you lose a couple of matches, your confidence gets knocked a little bit, and then it becomes hard to win a game. This is all a game of the mind.
You've got to have the technical ability, but you've got to have the personality as well, don't you? You've got to be able to be relaxed and focused when you get to the table. I mean, someone like you, I mean, you're so laid back. I mean, that must have been a huge asset when you were playing regularly.
Yeah, I think for when I used to play, I used to enjoy like looking around the arena, or in this instance, I'd constantly watching the other table because I wasn't the type of player who'd just sit and gaze at my opponent clearing up. I'd kind of wait for my chance and then sort of think, oh, it's my shot. A tidy break. Cue ball's just slowed down enough, so yeah, you can pot this. 3 ball's going to be tricky though. It doesn't go in either of the left hand pockets. Well, he's playing a very attacking shot here. He's not hanging around. He knows the chances of qualification are pretty much over.
Like Fortunski, Shaheen will be turning 30 later this year. Another player, clearly with so much ability.
Extension code.
But if he's to deliver on it to the full extent, again, it's got to happen soon. You look at these guys, they're several years older than the likes of Filler and Ocean, who've, if we're being honest about it, accomplished so much more in the game.
Yeah, but 30's still a very young age, isn't it? He's still nicely poised if you're near the top of the game. I think the likes of Filler, Catchy and Fedor Ghost, they're just freaks at the age they are at. Oh, Fortunski misses the 3 in the side. That was to get himself on the hill.
Yeah, breaking on the hill he would have been as well.
Well, Omar's kind of just lost the plot a little bit. He's probably playing a little bit too free, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not let the head drop, but it can be hard maybe to maintain your focus. You've been playing so many matches over 7 days, and as I say, he knows he's going out of the tournament, so the incentive level has certainly dipped as the week has gone on. Talking about how some players maybe lose their focus in that position, others just freewheel. And it can end up being a bit of both at different times. As you can see there in the other half of the screen, Joshua Filler has just made a mess of getting position on the 9 as he looks to get to the hill against David Al-Kadi.
He's trying to bank it in the side. He's going to hit the top jaw. Oh, that was close. Yeah, and it's a big point for Al-Kadi, that one. It's not as big for Filler.
Extension called.
But of course, Filler wants to stay with Jason near the top of the table. Al-Kadi's on 11 points. He's going to be shooting the 9-ball up into the top right-hand pocket. And it's a big shot. He's got to watch the scratch in the far left centre pocket, the left middle. Looks good. Oh, great shot, Al-Kadi.
Yeah, he knew straight away, didn't he? So David Al-Kadi now on the hill against Joshua Filler, who could be heading for another defeat after a poor day yesterday. Didn't matter too much because it was a fairly straightforward shot, but Fortunski doesn't look particularly comfortable with the bridge. But he's crossed that bridge and made it to the hill. Fortunski leads 4-2.
Rock 7.
Welcome back to Milton Keynes in this basement battle between the bottom 2 players in the table at the moment, Mieszko Fortunski and Omar Shaheen. And it's Fortunski breaking on the hill.
Yeah, and he's got a shot here. He can cut the 1-ball, the yellow 1-ball in the right centre. Position looks automatic for the blue 2.
Shaheen was bottom coming into today's play, but his unexpected win over Shane van Boning lifted him off the foot of the table. That's on Rack's difference. So if Fortunski wins, then Al Shaheen will be back in 10th and last place of those who remain. Could be all over. On the other table, as we've said, David Al-Qaedi not entirely in control of his own destiny by any means, but all he can do is win his matches today, and it looks as though he's going to win the first of them. Joshua Filler's struggles set to continue here. As we've said, the moment we're looking at 15 as the target you need to get to. So Filler is going to stay stuck on 14, it seems.
David's just played a smart shot there. A lot of people would have tried to hold the cue ball to play the 7 in the top left pocket. He decided to go further up the table and look at the angle he's got. He's absolutely sweet as a nut. He's going to do it, Michael.
He is. And he can try to build on the rhythm he's generated here very quickly, because he'll be next on the main table against Albin Ocean. David Al-Qaedi then completes victory over Joshua Filler by 5 racks to 3.
Extension code.
So Al-Qaedi gets to 12 wins. He's got 2 matches left. He's got that one against Ocean and then one tonight against Omar Al Shaheen. Filler stays on 14, only 4 matches left for him.
Yeah, you kind of feel that was a must-win match for Al-Qaedi. As he said, it puts him on 12 points, tied with his fellow countryman Sanchez Ruiz, but he's got 3 matches left. David's only got 2. It's going to be a tight finish.
Well, that deciding rack between those two in that epic match right at the start of this phase yesterday, which FSR won, could prove to have been very significant if it comes down to those two.
Nice shot there from Mieszko, the butcher, Fortunski. Yeah, so Joshua Filler, Jason Shaw, the 2 left-handers, they've both played 20 matches. They've got 4 games left each. Jason's just in front by a point.
Yeah, they'll be playing each other next on table 2. We've not seen many players this week win 5 racks in a row in any match. But from 2-0 down, that's exactly what Mieszko Fortunski has done, to beat Omar Al Shaheen by 5 racks to 2 and lift himself off the bottom of the table. Big match coming up next on the main table. Albin Ocean and David Al-Qaedi. That's in just a few.